What's up, ball busters? It's Silent Signs from I Dream of Indie, and today we are taking a look at puzzle platformer Kombinera. This is the first original IP published by Atari in a good many years now, and it's definitely a return to those arcadey roots. There is a story going on in Kombinera, and you do get some cutscenes that depict a ball with a crown, as well as a bunch of other balls that appear to be in love. I don't fully understand what's going on here, to be entirely honest with you, but the cutscenes are cute, and according to the Steam description at least, you are saving King Combine from the Cave of Chaos, all with K's. So take from that what you will. All I know is the primary focus of this title is definitely on the gameplay and the puzzle mechanics. The concept itself is easy enough to understand. You have multiple balls on screen at once and they all move in unison. From there you have a small jump and a bigger jump, and your primary objective is to merge all of the balls into what I can only describe as an everlasting gobstopper. Different colored balls have different abilities. For example, the red ball can roll right over spikes, the green ball can block rockets, and the yellow ball can break yellow barriers. If you combine two of those colors, you get both of those abilities. So if you combine yellow and green, you'll be able to break barriers and block rockets at the same time. There are 8 chapters with 300 puzzles, and new mechanics are always being introduced, so nothing gets boring, and it certainly gets more complex as you progress. And if you happen to be a master puzzle solver, there are also time challenges you can attempt to crush. So as far as judging the merit of a puzzle game, I look to a few different factors. First would be how much content is provided, second would be the challenge level of the puzzles, and third, of course, would be, is it fun and addictive? Did I want to continue playing? So yes, 300 puzzles, I would say you get a fair amount of content here, and they're certainly not easy by any means. I would put them in the more brain-bending category. There were many times I just had to stare at a puzzle for a few minutes before I even attempted my plan of attack, and even then it was a matter of learning from my failures. But honestly, that made finding and executing the solution even more rewarding, which leads me to answering my third question of, was it fun? And yeah, it was. I was addicted to this title and I did want to keep going even after failing over and over again at a single puzzle. I wanted to find that answer, make it to the next level, make it to the next chapter, and get another taste of that sweet, sweet victory. The strength in Kombinera lies in its simplicity. It doesn't try to be anything other than a puzzle game. It is a single player experience, so it's not one that you're most likely going to be sharing with friends unless you need to hand off the controller for a moment because you're getting too frustrated by a puzzle. Not that I would know anything about that. It certainly doesn't try anything too flashy in the gameplay, which I can't say the same thing about the graphics. However, there's a lot of flashing going on and it actually hurt my eyes. There are these transitional sequences in the game where you just get circles of bright colors coming at you on the screen, and I honestly had to turn my head from those. They're so bright and neon and contrasted with the black screens that you're typically looking at when you're solving a puzzle. It just didn't work for me. That said, I certainly don't mind the neon colors in the puzzles themselves. It's much more muted when it's not your entire screen flashing at you, and I do like the neons in that context. You also have some different color scheme settings that you can choose in the options menu, and I've got to say, they're clearly going for that retro arcade feel, and it's working with these graphics. On the sound design side of presentation, you get a soundtrack that is good but feels a little bit limited. A lot of the tracks sound very similar, which is honestly fine when you're just zoning out and solving puzzles. I wouldn't probably pick to listen to this outside of the context of this title, but you get some great synth beats, and it really seems like they tried to keep the sound effects to a minimal as well. You get one sound for the balls when they break the barriers or when they combine, and there's not much else to it, and there really doesn't have to be. This is a puzzle game at its very core, and that's just fine with me. They stuck at what they were good at, making a simple but effective puzzle game. I could have done without some of the flashing visuals, but for the most part I had a great time with this one. The only frustrations I ran into were my frustrations with the limitations of my own brain power. If only I was better at puzzle solving. Perhaps the addition of a skip puzzle option might be helpful, even if it's just for one puzzle every chapter, just to give our brains a break if they're really not working for a specific puzzle. But I'm sure there will eventually be walkthroughs out there and this won't be so much of an issue, but going into this blind was tough. Well, tough but fair, I would say. So will you be taking on these neon gobstoppers? Let me know in the comments down below. Before I go, I just want to thank our indie warriors: Bill T, Christian Cruz, Kevalo, Adriana Amato, CJR, PSC, Julian Colbus, Jesse, Raylin, Marky Mint, Dave Harp, Peekaboo, Lex Noyle, Carmen Red, King of the Hatch, and Blue Francis 14, as well as our indie legends: Jen Rose, Larkison, Mitchell Hull, Eric, Peach, Skepticism, C. Coyle, Nathan Moore, Chris Jackson, and Mr. W. Thank you all so much for your support. Thank you for watching this video. If you haven't already, don't forget you can subscribe down below so you don't miss any reviews or previews, and check out the description box if you'd like to see how to become an indie warrior or indie legend yourself. Thanks again for watching, and I will see you next time.